Hi, this is Laura from LIVEVISIONZ.com, and this video is dedicated to Sagittarius, all about Sagittarius. So whether you have your Sun, your Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars in Sagittarius, this video would apply to you. Now, if you're not sure where your planetary placements are located, you can go to my birth chart calculator on my website and figure out what you have and where, what planets you have in what sign. Sometimes my calculator does go on the fritz, so I would advise you to go to astro.com and figure out where you have your planetary placement alignments at, okay? And this will give you more information as to what video to watch for what planet that you have, okay? All right. Well, Sagittarius in general is ruled by the planet Jupiter. This is a fire sign, and it is a mutable sign. You know, so mutable meaning it's more changing, you know. These people could be more of the changing their mind kind of they're not as fixed, you know, so they could be more changeable and adaptable. But it is a fire sign nonetheless. And these people, because ruled by Jupiter is what? The planets of gifts and luck, right? And Jupiter expands what it touches, the good or the bad. And this is a very optimistic sign. Very freedom-loving, jovial. A lot of these people with these planets have a really good sense of humor, okay? They could also value honesty, and they could have a straightforward approach to things. They tend to be intellectual and philosophical, and a lot of these people could even be very spiritual, you know? They could be, I find that a lot of these people love to learn, and they love the outdoors. Sagittarius people are the types to go like bungee jumping or hiking or let's go camping or horseback riding. They love the outdoors. They really don't like being inside very much. And a lot of these people do love travel. And because, as you know, Sagittarius is ruled by the 9th house, and it's ruled by the sign of Jupiter, which does rule long-distance travel. And they love foreign people, foreign lands, and foreign places. Okay. The dark side of the sign, they could be blindly optimistic. You know how you may have the attitude like, oh, it's okay, you know, I can spend my money because I'll have more coming in. I just know it. It'll be good, you know. Or, you know, it's this optimism that maybe puts them in a bad place, okay? So the other example I can give you is somebody who is like a spender, and it's just like, it's okay. I'll be honest with you, I have a relative with this place who's a Sag, and she could spend money like there's no tomorrow, and she always gets into financial difficulties, but no matter what she does, there's always a Hail Mary that saves her, and, you know, it kind of helps her out, which is good, but she kind of banks on that. So that's the blindly optimistic, you know, like you just know something's going to happen, because Jupiter is the planet of gifts and luck. So even though she is very lucky, but she does put herself into some situations that's very close, like, you know, by the skin of my chinny chin chin kind of a situation, you know. A little bit careless, and like that's an example of carelessness. Irresponsible, which is exactly the same example, is an example of irresponsibility, where maybe you may spend all your money and think, oh, you know, I'm going to have more and it'll be fine, and there's always a Hail Mary, and so maybe other people have to jump in and help or something, but they bank on that. Like there's an element of it's okay because I always know something's going to happen to make it better, you know? And because these people are ruled by the planet Jupiter, so they could have this optimism, such an optimistic way of thinking, you know? A lot of these people could love animals too. Jupiter is the planet that sort of rules the animals and things like that. So these people, I find, that really love the outdoors, they love animals. And these people could be a bit, on the negative side, superficial, you know, maybe overly materialistic superficiality, meaning like, and I find that they're very big in their beliefs, you know, which is fine. It's okay to be into your beliefs and your spiritual values and things like this, but when it borders on mine is the best and yours is just wrong, that is like a little bit superficial, where you're not really opening your mind to the fact that maybe, you know, the other person's side of things could be right too. You know, it's a big planet. You know, a lot of people believe in different things. Doesn't mean just because you believe in what you believe in that the other person is just wrong. So there could be an element of that, and they could be a bit restless. These people do not like to sit in the house. They do not like to, they're the type to get up and go. Let's do something. Where are we going? They love the outdoors. So they could feel very restless. And we'll talk even about relationships. These people are hard to get tied down. They don't want to be pinned in, you know. When it comes to, they could be a bit tactless in the things that they say, because on the negative side, they could, you know, their whole thing is honesty and their whole thing is truth, okay? On the positive side, it's good to speak your truth and to be honest, but on the negative side, they could be tactless when they say something. Like they could say something that's super blunt, and maybe they're not considering the people who are around them, you know, how it may affect that person or if it may hurt that person. But the sign of Sagittarius is mostly all about truth and honesty, and they have this positive attitude in life. The glasses half full instead of half empty. They're very much straightforward type of people, intellectual. They love learning, and they're very philosophical, you know, with the things that they say. But like I say, on the dark side, because of this overly optimistic nature, they sometimes may not see, they could be blindly optimistic and not seeing the undercurrents of their behavior sometimes, and maybe, you know, always trying to count on that Hail Mary to bail them out, you know, or that, you know, miracle that always seems to happen for them because they are ruled by the planet of luck. So anyway, that's Sagittarius in a nutshell. But let's see if you have your moon in Sagittarius, okay? Now, moon in Sagittarius, in a man's chart shows you, you know, the woman you may marry. So this woman that you may get involved with could be very spiritual. She could be very, and it also depends on the house this is into. It gives you more information. But this woman could be very outgoing. This person could be such a great sense of humor, very positive type of person, you know, good-humored, good-natured, jovial, intellectual, definitely philosophical. She could even be a different culture, because Sagittarius rules different culture. She could be different religion. She could be very, on the negative side, you have to be careful. She's not too superficial, too irresponsible, careless, blindly optimistic, and, you know, maybe a bit reckless and a bit tactless sometimes with her honesty. So, and if you're a man or a woman, this could also describe your mother, because moon in a chart describes the mom, you know. So mother could have been very religious. She could have been very spiritual or philosophical. She could have maybe liked to travel. She could have been very, I want to say, maybe she had a good sense of humor, you know, very optimistic. Maybe she was freedom-loving. She could have been very intellectual, but perhaps at times she was blindly optimistic, you know, and she could be maybe a little bit tactless and maybe just very blunt in the things that she says to you. I would say that this mostly applies if you have a Mercury there. We'll get to Mercury next. So we covered, oh, and moon is also how you handle your emotions. So people who have moon in Sagittarius, when they're upset, they really want to get out of Dodge. They want to travel. They want to get the heck out of here and go somewhere else. So let's say they're at home and they're very upset and irritated. These people would love to travel. Like, I just want to go away. I just want to go somewhere. Or either that, maybe they go to spirituality, you know. Maybe they go to church, or maybe they're very philosophical in their, you know, spiritual beliefs, you know. But it also depends on the house this moon is in to give you more information. But for the most part, and this is a fire moon, so don't forget, the fire, this is very, I want to say these people are very upset. They'll also fight back, but they're almost like truth fighters, you know. You know, some people say, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? A lot of times these people will fight because they feel like they're right, you know. So they could be right fighters. And they're a fire sign too, though. They're all about truth. They're all about honesty. So they feel their truth is right. They're not going to budge, you know. They are a mutable sign, so I feel like if they feel that somebody makes them see that they're wrong about something, I don't think that they're they're not like a fixed sign where they won't change and say, okay, maybe you're right on that, you know. But if they really feel in their strength and they're strong about their right, they, you know, I don't see them changing that, you know. Let's see, what else? These people usually, I want to say for the most part, their emotions could be very, you know, the way they feel emotionally, they could be very direct with how they feel. Because again, this is very much a fire sign, you know. This is not a sign that's going to hold back emotionally. You know, it's not like it's a water sign, okay? These people in an emotional, like say they're emotionally heated in an argument, they could be a little bit tactless with the things that they say, aggressive, and but for the most part, I just want to go away. Or, you know, if somebody's trying to pin them in, they're not going to allow someone to just pin them in at all. And we'll get more into that when we talk about relationships. So let's say that your Mercury, you have Mercury in Sagittarius. If your Mercury is in Sagittarius, you could be very direct with the way you talk. You're all about speaking the truth and honoring your philosophical and your beliefs, you know. You could be, may perhaps like to talk about intellectual things, perhaps religious subjects. You could be, the way you speak could be very optimistic, but on the, you know, on the dark side, you could be a little bit superficial with the things that you say, and also maybe a little tactless. Maybe you're not considering your audience or who you're speaking to. Your goal is to speak the truth no matter how it comes out. You're like, well, the truth is the truth. And you ever heard the term, well, the truth hurts? Well, this is so much Mercury in Sagittarius. They're all about speaking the truth, and if it hurts, then they're like, well, so be it. At least you know the truth, you know. So this isn't the type of person where, you know, do I look fat in this dress? You know, they're going to say, yeah, you look horrible. Like, where's the other one? You know, what the heck? So they're very direct with how they say things, you know. So they're all about being straightforward, honest. Their whole thing is about honesty and being truthful and speaking the truth, okay? Okay, what else? Okay, so let's say that you have your Mars here, and Mars is your energy as a person. Whether you're male or female, you could be the type of person where you can't sit in one place very long. You're the type of person where you want to be out and about. You do not want to be home. You want to be traveling. This is definitely a person who loves to travel, okay? Mars is also your energy, so you're like a fiery type of energy. And so you could be the type of person where you could be very philosophical, very spiritual. You could be optimistic. You know, you could even be kind of funny at times, whether you're male or female. You need to be cautious, though, that you're not blindly optimistic and getting yourself into careless situations that are irresponsible, okay? Again, this could be a tactless energy, you know, but it's really your energy as a person. Now, if you're a man, the male Mars rules your libido and your sexual desire, and this is a very fiery kind of a sign. So I want to say, you know, very passionate. This would be a very passionate guy, perhaps, you know, and when it comes to a woman, Mars shows you the type of man that you're attracted to, you know. So for women, this would be a very philosophical, spiritual guy, a man who's all about the truth, and this is a very strong type of guy because this is going to be somebody this is a fire sign, okay? This could be somebody she's attracted to who's maybe a different culture or a different religion. This is maybe a person, a man for her who has a very good sense of humor, and who's just, I would say, very honest, you know, very honest maybe to a fault where it could be a little bit tactless, you know. But for a man, Mars shows how you flirt. So you're going to show a passionate side of you, you know. You're going to show a deep side of you. Now, the way you flirt, you could be, you could show a different side of yourself. You could show a spiritual side, a philosophical side. You could show that you are different in some way, you know. Maybe you're a different culture. But the way you flirt, perhaps you show an honest side of yourself, an optimistic side. You show that you're straightforward, that what you see is what you get. You know, and you show this freedom-loving side of yourself is how you attract a partner, okay? So, and if you guys have Venus let's talk about Venus. Venus, for a woman, shows you the type of man that you're looking for, okay? No, I'm sorry. For a man, this is the type of woman that you're looking for. So Venus for men would be definitely, again, somebody who is intellectual, spiritual, philosophical. This type of woman would be honest, maybe loving the outdoors, loving to do, this is the kind of girl that, you could take camping and hiking and bungee jumping. She would totally love it, She wouldn't be afraid to get her nails dirty or her shoes or whatever. She would be totally loving the outside. This is somebody who also could have a really good sense of humor, is very optimistic. This isn't a very negative person. This is a very positive type of person. But she could be perhaps blindly optimistic, where she's not looking at like, oh, I may be putting myself in bad situations by, not thinking. Like, not that they don't think, but they think, like I give you the example of spending. This could be a spender, So she could be blindly optimistic. Oh, it's okay. We got plenty in the bank. We're good, And really, later on, she's like, oh, no. But she may get that Hail Mary every time that saves her, So anyway, this is the kind of woman that he's attracted to. And this is a very fiery, passionate type of woman, too, okay? Now, if you're a woman and your Venus is in Sagittarius, you're the type of woman where you show this passionate side of you, but you show you have a passion for life. You have a passion for the outdoors. You show that your beliefs are important to you, whether they're your philosophical beliefs, spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever it is, they're important to you. You're going to flirt by showing this side of yourself. You're going to show you're fun. You love to have fun. You could even have a great sense of humor, And you're going to just show this passionate side of you big time. This is a sign that, I want to say the glass is always half full instead of half empty, Now, for any of you, male or female, who have Venus in Sagittarius, Venus also shows them ways in which you may make money. Now, it depends the house this is in, because this will give you more information, but some of you may make money with law, religion, banking and finance, entrepreneurs, athletes, clothing and shoes, imports, exports, and even teaching are just some of the fields in which you may make money, and that entrepreneurs is one of them. And I know you're thinking banking and finance. Well, not all Sages are bad with money, okay? So it's only the negative side. If you're blindly optimistic and not looking at things clearly, But Sag is also the sign of justice, It's the sign of you want things to be fair, you want things to be equal, and you could be a right fighter, fighting to make sure that if you feel right about something, you will fight, This isn't like Aquarius. It's like the right fighter for humanitarian, like, efforts, who are fighting for the rights of others. This is different. This is kind of like, if you feel you're right on something, you will fight, for your beliefs or something like this. Ninth house is also like somebody who could be like a judge, like Sagittarius is like, judges could fall into this too, because, what they say goes, and they're fighting on the side of justice, what is right in the world, right? So this would rule judges, especially if the Sagittarius is in that ninth house, okay? But anyway, if you, I hope this helps you get to know the sign of Sagittarius much better, and some of your planets if you have them in Sagittarius. If you would like a personal reading, I will put that link on the video itself and on the bottom of the YouTube page, so you can book that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful month, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.